Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. You can see I'm dressed a little differently today because this is the Carbon River area and I'm just outside of Mount Rainier National Park. It's mid-morning. The conditions are just about perfect for middle of December, or middle of November I should say. Temperature is 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius. I'm speaking a little softly because on my way in down to the river here I saw quite a few elk tracks and elk scat. It was probably not from this morning because some of it was frost covered, but it was definitely within the last day because we had rain 2 days ago, and these tracks are definitely not weathered out by rain. So yeah, the intent of today was either landscape or some wildlife photography. I have my 200 to 600 millimeter lens in the bag just in case. But I'm speaking kind of softly because elk really don't make any major moves midday. They're more active in the morning and in the evening. But one option would be to just find a spot and sit for a while to either look at some birds or potentially other wildlife. This is also the last weekend of elk season, so being right outside the national park is a benefit because I don't want to be mistaken by a half-cocked hunter that is fully cocked that mistakes me for an elk. So I don't want to venture into unknown forest, so to speak. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can see some snow up on the ridges. So mid-November, I'm gonna just scout around and see what I can come up with. So glad to have you along. So you probably noticed that I planned on some wildlife photography with a long lens, and so I have my video head, which makes it a little bit difficult for typical ball head for landscape shots, but it works to steady the camera. I've got the 70 to 200 on, and I'm not quite sure about these compositions, but I worked my way down. I'm on this gravel river or gravel bar that's adjacent to the river. The river's just over here, and there's these not larch trees. There's these kind of yellow bushes that just have a few gold leaves, gold medallions hanging on them, and this valley doesn't get much sunlight in the wintertime because the sun is so low on the horizon. You can actually see that we're still in shadow. But the interesting part here that kind of attracted me to this area is the fact that you have these gold medallions that are kind of in the mid-ground, but you have a background that's backlit. So it does add some nice contrast in the back. The back pine trees are illuminated by this side light that's coming in. Let's see, composition challenges. I'm in a river channel, so I'd like to have some interesting foreground, but the foreground's really messy, and because of the foreground challenge, it's one of the reasons I have my long lens on. And so I've taken a few compositions here. The difficulty is I'd like to have kind of a yellow bush that is isolated by itself. I don't have that, so I have more of a band of color. I guess that's okay, but it's not as nice as if I had an isolated bush that was with that backlight, with those green pines behind. That would be really nice contrast. I don't see that out here right now, so I'm making the most of what I have, and I will look at these when I get home and see how they look, and if there's, well, I usually show my photos to you regardless of if they turn out or not. So anyway, here I am on the river bar, experimenting with my long lens, challenging composition, and I'll show you a couple photos now. Well, I made my way over to the edge of the river. The river's just right here. Getting a little bit more light over the ridge on those trees, those bushes that I was photographing earlier. I just couldn't really make a composition work over there. But I do see some, I think they're alder trees on the other side of the river. Really nice symmetry with the white trunks of the alders, and then you've got the really deep tones of the greens, the light greens and dark greens, with the canopy as well as the background. But what's really making this composition interesting is right now we're getting some intermittent fog coming over the water and also up in the trees. And right now there's a tiny bit of fog or mist right at the canopy, and so kind of adds some ethereal effect to this composition. But I like this one much better than what I had earlier. I just couldn't make anything work over there, but this one looks much better. I really like the symmetry, and we'll see how it looks when I get home on the computer. So here it is. I'm back over to the forest now, and probably see the sun is over the ridge, and so pretty much everything, with the exception of anything in the forest, is washed out now with some really harsh light. So I guess I'll just go ahead and call it for this video, a short one today. Opportunistic photography, I would call this. But fall is such a great time of year. We're kind of past the peak fall color, but winter is just around the corner, and be anxious to head out into the backcountry in the winter. Got a couple things planned, so anyway, I'll call it for this week. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this short video, and if you do, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Helps me, helps the channel. And if you like this content and want to continue to get updates on my progress through the winter, well then maybe, just maybe, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.